Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtedar, your host, and today I'm going to talk to you about two developments. One, the cozying up of US and Pakistan. It is amazing as to how suddenly the diplomatic fortunes of Pakistan have been changed and completely transformed. That Pakistan is now getting closer and closer to the United States. We will talk about that. And then we will also talk about the opposition from conservatives, especially in Great Britain, to the US to UK India trade deal. I hinted in my presentation that I will pay a greater attention to that, and so we will talk about that shortly. And I was quite surprised by some of the comments that people were making under my report, and it is partly because they probably are not following the issue as closely as I'm following. So I thought that in today's presentation, I will actually show you directly the newspaper articles and the clips, etc., which I have been using and show them to you so that if you are not following this as closely as I'm following, then you can see it for yourself. So first of all, let me show you. I will talk about first the opposition to the India-UK deal in UK as to why people are protesting. And I think, and I actually fear, that this deal is going to increase anti-India racism in England. There will be more opposition, more anger, and even more hatred towards Indians as a result of this deal that Modi and Starmer made. So in the long run, it's not a good deal for Indians who live in UK and the West. And in the short run, I think it is going to be a disaster for Starmer himself because it could really reinvigorate the Brexit crowd and make Reform Party of Nigel Farage stronger and stronger. So that is what I'm going to talk first. Second, I will talk about Pakistan-US relations, the meeting between Isaac Dar, Pakistan's deputy prime minister and foreign minister, with the Secretary of State of the U.S., Marco Rubio, in the U.S. On Friday. So I'm going to talk about those two things to you. So first, let me show you what Nigel Farage had to say, so you can see for yourself if you have not seen this before. Okay, so I'm going to this is, forgive me, this is the, okay. So here it is, Nigel Farage, the leader of the Reform
So
Party.
Keir Starmer has signed a free trade deal with India. Good, you might think. India, very, very important country, and one with whom we do need closer links and relations. And if you look at the detail, it's truly extraordinary. So a company can transfer workers from India to the UK. Those workers here will not pay any national insurance for at least 3 years. So at the very same time, they're getting a big tax exemption. Taxes on British workers have been put up since the Labour government came to power. Worse still, remember what happened at the budget? Employers' national insurance went up by 2% for each worker, costing companies on average at least £1,000 a year per worker. And yet, companies that bring in Indian workers, the companies themselves will pay no national insurance either. It means overall, it's about 20% cheaper to employ an Indian after this deal than it is to employ a British worker. On top of that, there are no limits to this deal at all. And bear in mind that 500,000 people, yes, 500,000 people, have come into the UK from India in the last 2 years alone. It's honestly impossible to predict how many hundreds of thousands more will come on this deal. There's been no impact assessment, no analysis of cost, and absolutely no analysis of what this will mean for burdens on the health service and elsewhere. This government doesn't give a damn about working people. The Labour Party have this time, in a big, big way, betrayed working Britain. And that's why many people voted for us last Thursday. But for some reason, the government just doesn't seem to understand. Reform UK are the party of British workers. This deal is truly appalling.
So Let me summarize for you this, what in case who are watching from India cannot follow his accent very clearly. This is the leader of the Reform Party, Nigel Farage. He was the leader of the Brexit Party. He's conservative. He's right wing, like the Hindutva BJP party. So he is more aligned with Narendra Modi ideologically than Starmer is. Starmer is left of center, like the Congress party, whereas Nigel Farage is the natural ideological ally. These are the people that Hindutva organizations and their Hindutva IT cells of BJP support all the time. If you go and watch when the Leicester riots were taking place, these were the people that Narendra Modi's government and his party were supporting, Nigel Farage and the others. So this is what he's saying. He's saying that companies which hire Indians, which means companies which are Indian companies based in India who are going to send employees, will not pay into the national insurance, which is about 50,000, because he said it's gone up by 2%, and then he says £1,000 per person, which means if 2% is 1,000, we are talking about £50,000 per employee that the British companies are paying towards national interest, which Indian companies like Infosys, like Wipro, which are operating in UK and bringing employees from India, will not be paying. And they will be getting free healthcare from the British hospitals, etc., from the NHS. Now, those who are supporting this deal, like Starmer and other liberals on radio and in newspapers, they are saying this deal is like the US deal or UK deal or with European Union, where people, because they pay into their social security, they don't have to pay into social security here in UK, because then they would be paying double. Please show me what social security program is there in India which employees of Infosys who are working in the US or in UK are paying into India. And is it the same amount? So if you are an Infosys employee, or let's say you are an IT engineer who is hired in the United States or UK, and you're getting a salary of, say, £50,000, your company is paying into the national interest something like £20,000 every year. Is your company in India also paying £20,000 on your 50,000 salary? Is there that double taxation taking place? Obviously not. That is the point that the right-wing people are making in England. It's so amusing to me that these are right-wing governments, and so Modi cannot make a deal with Rishi Sunak, but he makes a deal with the left-wing party of Britain. Let me show you two things which you will be very, very surprised to learn, and these are important. Okay, I'm going to be sharing this, and then I'm going to show one. I'm showing an article from Indian Economic Times to show you what Indian politicians and Indian leaders are saying. They are gloating over this deal, saying this is like Piyush Chawla says, this is Piyush Goyal, sorry, Piyush Chawla is an off spinner. Piyush Goyal, the Ministry of Commerce, is saying that this is a game changer. It's a huge competitive advantage for Indian companies in UK because it's a pay rise. Let me show you that article in Economic Times. And then I will also show you an article about what the Conservative Party leader, her name is Badenoch. She's the first Black woman to become leader of the Conservative Party in UK. What she's saying, I'm going to tell you that I don't know why Indian media is not covering this. I can guarantee you that this is going to increase a lot of anti-India racism, because there's going to be a lot of illegal migration. People are going to go there for 3 years and they're not going to come back. And they're going to overstay their visa. The highest number of people who overstay their visas in UK are Indians. And even Indian origin people in Rishi Sunak's government, like what's her name, Sylvia Beverman, they were the ones who were opposing and protesting this at the highest level. So let me show you what this article is in the Economic Times. So look at this. Look at the headline. Oh, this is what the article says. India UK free trade agreement unlocks pay boost for nearly 75,000 Indian techies with 3-year levy relief. So if it is the same here and there, why is this a relief? Why are they paying? Why is this considered as a pay boost? Indian IT companies will no longer need to make social security contributions in the UK for up to 3 years. And this is expected to benefit 75,000 and 900 employers. And so, like companies like Tata Consulting Services, TCS, Infosys, etc. So the UK is now the second largest market. All that is not important. The Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal wrote on X formally the 3-year exemption from Social Security is part of the double country is significant breakthrough for Indian workers and their employers. So what they're trying to say is that they are going to get a huge advantage over the British, and this is going to really frustrate people in England because they are not getting any advantage at all. Especially right now, England is in a really bad shape. There is a lot of, shall we say, anger at immigration. Nearly 500,000 Indians have gone to UK in the last 2 years. I find this very interesting that since Modi won election in 2014, Indians are full of it. They're full of themselves these days. They'll tell me, oh, you are a traitor because you're criticizing India. India is the greatest country. Modi is the greatest prime minister. Then why are you running away from this great country? India is a superpower, major power, the fastest growing economy. If India is the fastest growing economy, this is the place to be, right? This is the place you can grow the fastest. This is the country where your pay will, if you're working in there, it is the fastest growing economy. Your pays are going to go fastest. This is a great superpower. So why are you going to a country that is declining? Like Great Britain, everybody knows it is under decline. Its growth rate is 1%. Why is England suddenly so attractive for 500,000 Indians that they moved there in the last 2 years? Not only are working Indians moving there, retiring Indians are moving there. Virat Kohli is now retiring in London. So this is a question that is something that I would love to ask. People come here and brag all the time that they don't face the realities because your media in India is not telling you what is happening. Let me show you another conservative who was. So when I said that the conservatives are opposed to this deal, people in my presentation, people were saying, no, you just hate Modi, so you are lying. No, here's another article. This is from the Indian newspaper, Economic Times. What does Kemi Badenoch? Kemi Badenoch is the new leader of the Conservative Party, conservative like BJP. She replaced Rishi Sunak as the new head, and this is what she said. I want to thank Rishi, blah, blah, blah. Now, what does Kemi appointment say for India? So this woman, she was on the negotiation, having previously served as business and trade secretary and dealt with free trade agreement, free FTA talks with India. Badenoch indicated during the course of the Tory leadership campaign that she blocked the deal over the demands of more visas, the FTA negotiations. So Modi is constantly demanding, saying, please take our people, jobs in India. So you should give jobs to us. We will give you our market, but you should give us jobs. So Dr. Jaishankar talks about mobility. Nobody from Britain is coming to India. Even now, IPL, the players have become very few, like maybe 12 or 10 cricketers coming to work in IPL, but nobody's coming to work in India's any industry from Great Britain. They're not moving to India. The traffic is only the other way around. So India is talking about getting jobs for Indians. That is fine. But right now, all I'm saying is that this is a great deal for India, not a good deal for England. But what is it going to do? What it is going to do is create a lot of anti-Indian sentiment. Already, if you're watching, They are cutting visas to Indian students. Both the US, there have been so much of rejection this year, it's unbelievable. And they have stopped interviews until August. So the whole month of, I think, July, there were no international student interviews. So they are stopping international student interviews. They are canceling visas. Donald Trump has just threatened American companies from hiring Indians, and they are also canceling H-1B visas. There's a lot of backlash against that. And on top of that, if you sign a deal which clearly is one not in favor of the British and completely one-sided, and then you brag about it, right? So both Modi and Goyal are going back and bragging about it as to how they managed to do this, that we have got 90%. Look at Piyush Goyal's article. I want to show you this particular interview, if I can find that. Here it is. Okay. So look at this article by, sorry, uh, on Piyush in the Hindu. India UK FTA, a game changer for trade. So this is Piyush Goyal. Terming the India-UK free trade a game changer, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says the Indian government had ensured the protection of all sensitive sectors of the Indian economy while benefiting every section, including farmers and MSME. See, this is exactly what I said in my uh, present, that this is a very pro-India deal. This is very lucky that Indians got this deal, and this is not a good deal for the British. It's not a bad thing. I don't care. The British economy can go to trash for all I care. But what I'm worried about is statements like this, which they are bragging that we got a good deal, will motivate more and more British people to vote for people like Nigel Farage. In the past, the Indians were very thrilled about Nigel Farage because him an anti-Muslim immigrant, so they were very happy about it. But there's something else also you should know about the new conservative leader. She said one of the problems with Indians is they are bringing their cultural fights from India to the British streets. It's in the same article in Economic Times. You can go and look at it. So I think that this is my first part of today's discussion before I take your questions and your comments later, if there are any. So that is one problem. I'm quite worried about it. Plus, it's quite possible that this might not go through. One thing that the British commentators are saying is, oh, this is not a big deal because this is only 2.5% of the British trade. So 50% of all British trade is between Europe and UK. UK and Europe. So all of 50% of British exports are to UK, so to Europe. And then 20 to 25% are to the US alone. So between these two countries is the main trading partners of Great Britain, of UK. With India, it's just 2%, 2 to 2.5%. So this is not going to have a huge impact. The British island, the UK, is a small country with about 65 million people population, but it has a $3.8 trillion economy. In fact, till 2 years ago, it was bigger than India, but with only 60 million people. So its total GDP is 3.8 billion. And in the next 5 years, if everything goes well with this trade agreement, Great Britain will get a $5 billion increase in its GDP. $5 billion increase in its GDP. So you can go and take a look at those. Uh, uh, there are very good pages that the British government has put out, much better than the Indian government so far, summarizing the benefits to the British economy from this particular deal. So they say in the next 5 to 6 years, it will increase by $5 billion. $5 billion in next 5 years, the British economy will be around $4 trillion. So 5 billion of $4 trillion is what, 1.25%. It's adding nothing to the GDP. So that is another problem, that it's not really a very big deal. Starmer is trying to make this a big deal because his government is under serious criticism as very incompetent. They have not managed to control illegal immigration. They have increased legal immigration. The whole idea of Brexit was to make British economy stronger. It has become weaker, and then they are comparing Starmer to Mark Carney, the Canadian prime minister who stood up to Trump, whereas Starmer is like a doormat to Donald Trump. So the people are not really very happy. And I'm going to leave you with one more uh, point that I want to tell you is that the biggest benefit that you will see on any chart that you will see about to Great Britain from this deal is, oh, the tariffs on British cars has come down from 100% to 10%. 100% to 10%. Okay, this looks fantastic, right? So if you're Aston Martin, like I said in my presentation yesterday, that if you're Aston Martin, Rolls Royce, if you're a Land Rover, then there are a lot of rich Indian millionaires who are willing to buy these expensive cars, movie stars, etc., because now the customer, instead of paying double the price, it's just paying 10% extra. So why not? So when you look at the fine print today, it turns out that those tariff deductions on petroleum and diesel cars will happen in 2031. So it's in 2031 that the tariffs will go down from 100% to 10%. But next year, it will still be 100%. 2 years from now, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now, even after the next election in India, which is in 2029, the tariffs will still be 100% on British cars. So you imagine 6 years from now, you will be able to buy a British car at 10%. So India's elections will be over, and the next British elections will be over, and you will still be paying 100% tariffs on British cars, on British auto parts. That is such a cheating thing. The Starmer's government didn't say that. I read this because the automobile manufacturers in Britain are upset about it. They're saying, what is this? You're bragging as if you're going to get discount. And you know why it is funny, why I'm so amused? By 2031, who is going to be buying petrol cars? Will you buy a petrol car? I change cars every 4 years. And so this year, my car is due for change. My wife's car is due for change next year. So I was going to move to Tesla. I was hoping to move to a BYD this year. And I'm so upset with this whole tariff business because there are no BYDs available yet. There's 100% taxes on EVs coming from China in the US. And I'm so upset with Elon Musk that I'm not going to buy a, a Tesla, even if I get it for a discount. And plus, on top of that, Donald Trump is eliminating the $7,000 tax rebate that we were getting if you buy an EV. So I'm not going to buy an EV this year. Otherwise, by 2031, whether you like it or not, most of us will be driving electric vehicles. So what is the point of getting so much tariff discount? So I think this deal is not good for England at all. So if you are a British person, take a look at it. This shows how weak your prime minister is, how useless he is, how desperate he is to show that he is being successful and somehow he's managing this deal. And the deal with the US, that is also not strong. 10% tariffs across the board. Right now, the tariffs are like 2%. The average tariffs that Britain pays to US is 2%. It's going up to 10%. And there are other tariffs that will also go up on aluminum and steel and other things. So anyway, that is my point. If you have any questions and comments, I'll be happy to answer them. And for those of you who are members of Khanversations, please remember we have a meeting tomorrow, 12 o'clock my time, New York time, and 9:30 p.m. India time. So I have already posted the Zoom link in the post section of the channel. Please click and join, and we can have a face-to-face conversation. I listen to you, your suggestions, your advice, your comments, your questions, etc. Now let's look at the second part. And I found this very, very interesting. I will share this article with you. It's from the Dawn. And if you look at this, no, this is the wrong article. Sorry. I need to show you the right article. It was in the Pakistani newspaper about Rubio's meeting. Dar. So suddenly we find Pakistani foreign minister Isaac Dar, who is also the deputy prime minister, coming here on Friday. He was in New York a couple of days there because now Pakistan is the president of the UN Security Council. They had some events there at the UN, so he came for that. And then he came down and met Marco Rubio here in Washington, D.C. And some of the comments are surprising and amazing. I'm shocked and surprised at this. So, for example, look at this line. Said Rubio acknowledged Pakistan's everlasting sacrifices in the war on terror. And then says Pakistan has always played a positive role in global and regional peace. And discussions were held on promoting bilateral trade, etc. And then Donald Trump also announced uh, that that he's going to shortly announce a trade deal with Pakistan. And of course, Pakistan was the first foreign country to nominate Donald Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. So, in that sense, suddenly you find that on a few issues, counterterrorism, fighting ISIS and Al Qaeda, in Afghanistan, Rubio is like a big, oh, I'm here to fight radical Islam. And so suddenly Pakistan once again is able to use the same reasons for getting closer to the US that it used during the global war on terror under George W. Bush. So suddenly you find that, and this is an important reason. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because nobody in the Indian media is going to tell you this and so clearly, okay? Nobody is going to tell you this because they're all very stupid. They are making a big deal about Starmer and Modi having chai. Really? That's what you have to talk about? That's the intellectual level of Vishwa gurus, talking about how Starmer and Modi are having cup of tea. Yes, the British taught the whole bloody subcontinent to drink tea and play cricket. Fine, we got that, right? This is what is very important. India sent all these delegates all over the world, repeatedly told the US during the Quad meetings that Pakistan is responsible for the cross border terrorism that happened in Pahalgam. Again and again and again, Modi has said this on the phone to Donald Trump. Jaishankar has said this in person more than once to Dr. Jaishankar. Pakistan is a sponsor of cross-border terrorism, the epicenter of terrorism. Non-stop Indian diplomatic effort has been to isolate Pakistan as a sponsor of cross-border terrorism. And guess on what issue the US and UK are bonding? On Pakistan as someone who is a partner in the fight against terrorism. It is completely upside down, as if whatever India is saying, nobody is listening. If the US does not isolate Pakistan, that's it. The rest of the world is not going to do that. Okay? So this is a huge failure of Indian diplomacy, that they have failed to convince the United States to abandon Pakistan. On the other hand, since Trump became prime minister, Modi is supposed to be his very good friend. Remember that they have great relationships, etc., etc. Since Pahalgam, after India accused Pakistan of being responsible for cross-border terrorism, Pakistan's diplomatic status has been going up in Washington. So Asim Munir gets invited to have lunch. The Indian government protested it. They protested it very strongly afterwards, privately, but very strongly. And guess what? After that, Donald Trump starts talking very highly about Asim Munir. He says he's a highly respectable person, blah, blah, blah. In fact, at the NATO summit, Donald Trump could not remember Asim Munir's name. He remembered Modi's name and said, Modi is a great leader and Pakistani leader. I really admire him and he's blah, blah, blah. And the Pakistanis are playing it well. Pakistanis keep praising Donald Trump for his role in bringing about the ceasefire. And he keeps claiming that he is responsible for ceasefire, and India keeps denying that. And now there's this foreign minister level meeting. And guess what? Next month, there is a Pakistan US summit on counterterrorism. This is mind blowing. I find this really, really ulta chor kotwal ko dante, they say, no, it's something like that. This Mahavra, this is so far from the Pakistani point of view, you can say that this is absolutely a major victory for Pakistan globally. But the point remains that India's diplomacy has failed. They have failed to connect Pakistan to Pahalgam. And as far as non-Western forums like SCO and BRICS are concerned, China and Pakistan have successfully connected India to terrorism in Balochistan by talking about the Jafar Express, etc., but not about Pahalgam. So anyway, these are the two issues that I wanted to talk about today. And those of you who are watching from India, after half an hour, that is at India time 10:30, morning, I will do the same issues, but I always talk about different issues. And this is not a scripted show. I don't script my show. I just have points in my head. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. I will show them this chart, that, etc. Like I had this four windows. I didn't even have time to screenshot them to show it to you. So because I was traveling today and I was all day in Baltimore. But anyway, so these are the two things that I wanted to discuss with you. And now let us see what your questions are. Bikram has a sunflower. Bikram, people going for 3 years assignment and later back to India giving social security to pension does not make sense. They anyway paying contributions to Indian pension fund while on the. No, that's not the same thing, Bikram. It is not. Show me. If you're working for a private company, what pension fund are you contributing to? This is also going into national insurance. So people who are paying for national health services, free health services, your children will also get free education when you are there. If you go there with grown-up children for 3 years, your children can go to colleges at a very low expense in Great Britain. All of that is coming from this social security. It's not just a pension fund. National insurance covers all the state benefits that are available in England, and it's not doesn't cover. And show me where in India would you pay the same amount. So if you got a £50,000 salary in UK, how much of that are you paying in the pension fund in India? I don't think so. Plus, the company pays 20% to the pension fund. They will not be paying that. So it is going to be 20% cheaper to hire an Indian at the same salary than hiring British. Indian companies don't pay into any pension fund in India. No, they don't. Show me what pension fund there are that Wipro's employees are paying in India. It's not the same. It's not like in the US. I can show you how much I pay, close to 30% in Social Security and Medicare funding. In fact, I don't like this deal. If I went to Great Britain, I don't want the British health system at all. It's awful. It may be free, but it's not as good as my healthcare is. I get world-class healthcare when I want. So in the US, if you have health insurance like I do, you get the best when you want. I don't have to wait in a long line for months and months to get things done. Okay, my mother has a stomach pain, and day before yesterday we went to see the doctor, and right there on the spot we did an X-ray, and we are doing in one more day and an ultrasound. Is like that. It's all free. So it's not the same thing. Will you get the same quality of healthcare in India that you would get in UK for free? No, I don't think so at all. So, and why aren't people talking about it? If that is the case, then why aren't people who are defending this deal coming out and showing? Not one place have I seen anybody in Great Britain say that the taxation is the same. Show me what companies there are. I can show you what NHS charges, what the national insurance now. In the last 2 days, I have learned sufficient about the British healthcare and their national insurance system to get a sense of it. Okay, so this is a huge advantage. And a lot of Indian companies, they're going to do a lot of shady stuff, which is they're going to have one small Indian partner for big British companies, and that partner is going to bring a lot of Indians to work on lower salaries. And they're going to overstay the visa. Indians are the largest number in when it comes to overstaying visas in UK. You can go and check. This data is available there. Overstaying visa is a huge issue. And then they will apply for conversion to permanent residency. And if they do that, then will they be paying full for the first 3 years that they stayed? If they are applying for permanent. So those issues are not going to be answered. And don't believe me if you think I'm not saying all of this thing. Nobody in India is talking anything about it. I have not seen a single article in India explaining to me or to anybody who is asking this question what pensions these people are paying in their provident fund. At least in the olden days, my father used to pay in something called a provident fund, but that is if you are part of the government employee. I worked for 3 companies in India. There was nothing there, but that was decades ago. So maybe now there are. So I'll be very happy to see. Post a link below, Mark Bikram, about the healthcare insurances in India and show me the cost, whether it is the same or not. I showed you the article. Piyush Goyal, etc., are bragging in India. This is a huge financial advantage to Indian companies. They're saying it openly. This is a huge financial advantage. The salaries of Indian players are going up, etc. Mark Welber, how are you, my friend? You have lots of comment. Why is it that the fall of the Western tech industry in the last 2 decades is deeply caused by the cheap Indian labor and incompetent people are running the show in higher position, mostly holding fake credentials? Did Trump realize that issue? So we always underestimate Pakistan. That is true. This is very strange what has happened in the West. The decline of tech. They are in panic, especially scared to death. Especially the US is scared to death of China overtaking the US in technological efficiency, etc. They have already done so. They have already overtaken us in research. They are outspending us in research. There is a program that ORF Foundation, the Indian think tank, hosted just 2 days ago. And there was one person from India who was advisor to the Prime Minister's Economic Forum. There was a Chinese businessman, Professor Mearsheimer from the US. Liz Truss, the former British Prime Minister, was also on that panel. And I was listening to them. And the Chinese guy was saying, we produce more STEM graduates than the whole world combined. And we are putting more money in research than the entire West, more than Europe and the US. So yes, the West is wasting its time on weapons. We are sending billions of $250 billion to Ukraine. I have this challenge that if the US government gives me 10% of that, gives me $25 billion to University of not to me, to University of Delaware, and allows me to control the funds, I will make H-1B unnecessary within 4 years. I will travel the whole country in the United States, find the smartest kids in STEM programs in all the high schools in this country, bring them to University of Delaware, not only full scholarship, I'll give them a monthly stipend of $1,000 to undergraduates to come and study artificial intelligence and engineering. And then I will produce those engineers that this country needs. $25 billion is enough to do that. But I cannot explain why the government will do stupid shit. You know, Obama did a very interesting interview with the Atlantic Monthly many years ago when he was president, and he was asked, what is the most important job of the president of the United States? And Obama's answer was very simple. He said, the job of the US president is not to do stupid shit. And I agree. And Donald Trump this week, oh my God, everything that he's doing is stupid shit, which is going to hurt this country. The tariff part might work, but the knowledge side is going to hurt. Why is he stopping Indian students from coming here? They're not going back. Nobody goes back. This is just rubbish. Those who have parents may send some money back, but nobody is going back. The CEO of Google, do you think he's sending his billions of dollars to India? Nope. Nobody's sending it back. So people have to understand fully that this is not happening. So So, so I think that this is a stupid mistake. So anywhere the racism part comes in, people are in a big problem. So he should take the best students from China, the best students from US. 50 to 70% of all science higher education students from China stay in the US, but 30% still go back. 90% of Indians who come here for PhD in sciences don't go back. So why not? Why not take them? Best ones come here and stay. So that's a mistake that Donald Trump is making. That is what I mean by stupid shit. The president should not do that. Yes, he should not encourage the American companies to invest in China and India in improving their social infrastructure and try to create tech jobs here. I agree with that strategy, which is America first. But why miss out through racism? It's like saying, oh, I'm not well, but the guy who created or invented the medicine is brown or black, so I will rather die than use the medicine invented by somebody who's not white. Now, that would be stupid, and that's somewhat what Donald Trump is trying to do right now. Any more questions? I saw one by Ismile Muhammad. Welcome, Ismail. I hope you're coming tomorrow for the meeting, and tomorrow at 12 o'clock our time. And then, yes, they're also investing in military technology. I agree, Mandeep. But the Chinese are investing in education a lot. I did a whole show called China as a scientific superpower. You should go and see. I did that about a year and a half ago. So I showed all the main universities in the world. So I showed you the actual research rankings. So most of the rankings that we see are perceptions, people's perception of which is the best university. But the science technology ranking is based on research paper publication. So in the top 100 journals in the world, in every field, how many papers were published by professors from this school, that school, etc. So the number one was Harvard last year. I don't know what it is this year. So number one was Harvard. Number 11 was University of Toronto. From 2 to 16 were all Chinese companies. 2 to 16. So in the top 16 universities, when it came to research publications in scientific journals, 14 were Chinese universities. One was Harvard. Number 2 was Toronto. I was very impressed because Toronto is a giant of a university. So it's the size also matters. Like my department has only 25 professors. So even if you publish 3 articles a year, we are publishing only 75 articles. Georgetown has 50 professors. And if they're publishing only 2, they're still publishing 100. So Georgetown department's ranking will be higher than ours. Similarly, because Chinese universities have thousands of professors, even if they're publishing 1 article a year in a top journal in the field, their universities are ranking much higher than our universities, where we might be individually more productive, but collectively we are not as productive. Yes, Mandeep, you're making some very good points. Mandeep, you're from IIT Roorkee. Congratulations. I didn't get into IIT, man. They rejected me when I took the entrance exam. So I went to Osmania for my engineering. So good for you. Yes, 2 to 9, all Chinese. You're right. So 1 was Harvard, and I think 10 was University of Toronto. So you're probably correct. Oh, yes, I found out that there are 16,000 Indian students studying medicine in China. I found that Indian students are also studying in Bangladesh. I find this very interesting. India likes to say it's Vishwa Guru, so that we teach the world, but it's the other way around. Indians are going all over the world to learn. So the whole world is teaching Indians and not the other way around. Anyway, thank you for watching Khanversations, guys. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon. This channel is changing. So many of you say, why are you doing this in English? On this channel, I'm not getting many Indians at all. There are some who are using VPN and watching, but the American component has increased significantly. I used to get only 15% Americans and 68% Indians on this channel. Now 0% from India. Indians are watching, those who are using VPN, but a lot of Indians are watching from other parts of the world. Australia has increased, Canada and England. So yes, a lot of Indians are watching. Most people who interact are from India. But viewership from US is now 42% on this channel. So I will probably not do much in Hindi. If you want to watch me in Hindi, then come to my India channel, which is called Khanversations 2025. In fact, I will be taking a 10-minute break, and then I'll be going live on that channel in Hindi and Urdu. So anyway, thank you for watching. Mandeep, thanks for keeping company. Bye.